Hey guys, what's shaking? What's up? Let's get this going here. Uh let's not fuck around tonight. What is shaking?
Hello.
Hi everybody. So I have a couple of guests. I have Gianna and character analysis with me. So
Hey, girl.
please,
Hey.
what's shaking?
Not too much. I just spent the last hour trying to catch up on like anything new
Uh-huh.
that I could find, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, nothing really new. You know, the brands aren't really thrilled. The like Levi's and Tommy
Oh,
Hilfiger, and I watched a TikTok from a
interesting.
woman saying, Peak Design is the one who they ratted out Mangione. They told him, like, they gave him, I don't know, some sort of number, and they were able to identify that it was Luigi. And I'm like, that's not true, and that's not what
No,
happened.
that's
And
not what
she
happened.
encouraged people to go to that page and like trash them. I'm like, that was
Oh,
completely
really?
irresponsible, because that's not what happened.
Oh,
Completely irresponsible.
jeez.
Yep.
Jeez. Ugh. So she's outraged, right?
Who?
Okay, this woman.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I guess, but it was more just like, hey, I heard something and I'm going to repeat it because it's going to get me attention.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
just what it felt like. And that's what it feels like. I totally get why people want him to
Oh,
be.
yeah.
I get it.
Oh,
And
I
I
do
was there
too.
3 days ago.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now I am not.
So just real quick, I want to give like a disclaimer, right? How do I say this without saying it, right?
Mm-hmm.
My man's is innocent. Okay, let's just say that. I don't actually.
I don't think he's innocent.
I think he's very guilty, but I want him to be okay. But let's say jury nullification is very real. All right.
Can you explain what jury nullification is?
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Let me share. Let's talk about that real quick. Let me share. So jury nullification in essence is when a jury for whatever reason, usually the law is unjust. Like, for instance, when slavery was legal, when a jury believes a law is unjust, or there's a social issue at play, and they believe the public would not want a person convicted, the jury can, even though there's been like no reasonable doubt, there's like massive evidence against the person, the jury can be like, not guilty. That's jury nullification. And I'm just going to play this, like, I'm not going to play the whole video because it's 8 minutes, but I'll play the first couple minutes because I haven't watched it yet, but we'll get to it. Let's see.
Okay. If you ask the court what jury nullification is, imply that you
wait a
believe
minute
in jury nullification.
Can you guys hear that? Because
What
it's
is jury nullification, you ask? Jury nullification.
I can hear it.
you guys can hear it.
Yeah, it's just very low.
It's playing through my speakers. Let me fix that really quick because I think that might be why.
Yeah, I'm not able to attach my earbuds.
Oh, weird. That's weird.
Well, yeah, I know.
Okay, here we go. I'll go now.
If you ask the court what jury nullification is, imply that you believe in jury nullification, or even mention jury nullification, then you're almost guaranteed to get kicked out of jury duty. What is jury nullification, you ask? Jury nullification is the act of a jury returning a not guilty verdict despite believing that the defendant is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Jury nullification has a long and controversial history in the United States. While it may seem like an archaic legal concept, jury nullification is very much alive and well in today's criminal justice system. Even though you're not allowed to talk about it, appellate courts have admitted that jury nullification is a recognized aspect of our jury system. Jury nullification has deep historical roots dating back to the earliest days of English common law.
So it comes from when we were, the colonies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it started, I don't know if he's going to talk about it, but it started with, there were two guys like William Penn and like William Mead, I think, and they were preaching the gospel, and somewhere this was illegal, and they went to court, and this was in the days of the Puritans and whatnot, and the jury was like, they could do whatever they want, even though it's totally illegal what they were doing. They were like,
It also played a pivotal role in the American colonies, where juries often refused to convict individuals charged with crimes that they deemed unjust, such as violations of the Stamp Act. This resistance to oppressive laws ultimately contributed to the American Revolution. The right to a trial by jury and the potential for jury nullification found a place in the U.S. Constitution with the 6th and 7th Amendments guaranteeing the right to a jury trial in criminal and civil cases. As a result, jury nullification became a powerful check on government authority, allowing jurors to act as a safeguard against unjust laws and prosecutions. While the historical context of jury nullification is well established, its relevance in modern legal systems may be less apparent. However, jury nullification...
If anybody wants the video for this, I just put it in the comments. It's just explaining what jury nullification is.
Continues to play a significant role in the criminal justice process for several reasons. Jurors may still hold strong moral or ethical objections to...
So if there is a moral or ethical objection to nullify the verdict, they can.
Wow.
Certain laws.
Yeah.
Do you know of any cases where this has been where this has played out?
I don't. I'm sure he talks
that was the first time.
Yeah, let's listen.
I know.
I mean,
I'm with you.
Wait, but I just want, before I forget this really, really fast, because it was so funny. I saw a TikTok the other day, and it was a guy, and he was like doing like a skit, and he was pretending to be like John Hancock coming to present day, and like finding out that nothing's been changed,
right?
And him being like, "You guys haven't fucking updated it? Like, we wrote this. He was like, I wrote this with a fucking quill and ink, and you haven't updated it. You guys are just living by these." It was so funny because it's so true. Like, we took the Constitution that they wrote hundreds and hundreds of years ago when everything was so different, and we're just like, nope, stands today.
Yep.
Nope,
Yep.
stands today. Like,
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
Well, it kind of, that's, I think, was the point of the skit, was that, like, he's like, this shit does not apply to you guys. Like, the right to bear arms, we barely had anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it was just really funny. The guy did a really good job kind of portraying the, like, funniness of how absurd it kind of actually is, that we still, I don't know, just, it was very funny.
Leading them to nullify verdicts that they find unjust. For example, in cases involving non-violent drug offenses, some jurors may believe that the crime doesn't warrant prosecution to send a message to the prosecution. Jurors may sympathize with the defendant's
sympathy for the defendants.
Circumstances, such as cases involving desperate individuals driven to commit crimes due to economic hardship or personal struggles. High-profile cases and social movements.
I think also this might be a good, that if to look into it, there's probably some instances in where, like, a parent was, like, fighting for a sick child, or one of, like, those type of instances where they got arrested for something or whatever, that to take care of that would have worked in. I don't know, maybe.
Mm-hmm. But we get the idea, right? We get the idea.
Yes,
definitely.
Hey, Peach. What's up, girl?
Peachy.
Hi.
I put the link in chat for anybody who wants the for Group B, or anybody that wants up there. Certainly more than welcome. This is, I kind of wanted this to be kind of like a round table. Initially, I wanted to be a deep dive, because of course, this calls for a spreadsheet, right? Like, of course, I created a spreadsheet. If you want access to the spreadsheet, it is in the description of this YouTube. But of course, it calls for a spreadsheet, so I made one. But this little slideshow is literally just my brain dump of everything that's happened the last. It's just like my screenshots. I just kind of wanted to let me find a couple that are.
Something I read on Reddit. When they just showed that picture of him, where he's like wet his pants. That apparently has something to do with his spinal injury.
Yeah. It can cause numbness and incontinence.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even. It is. It's very. Yeah.
It is very sad. It's the nerve damage.
Yeah. Let's see. What did I want to? I kind of wanted to talk about. Let me find it. Oh, these are. I think. Are these my videos? Yeah, they are. Hold on. Like I said, it's a brain dump. It's not, are these all empty? This. I kind of wanted to talk about the way social media has kind of rallied around Luigi. Now, character,
not the Luigi outfit,
dude. I know.
Not the Luigi candle. That's my Nana's candle. That's what Nanas have.
Right.
No, but he's dressed as Luigi, today, like Mario. He's dressed as Mario from Mario and Luigi. He's dressed as Luigi.
Right.
That's so funny.
I kind of wanted to talk about this one moment, because, like, we've all had problems with healthcare, right? Some of us more than others, but regardless of how many problems we've had, we've all had problems. We don't know to the extent of which he had issues with the insurance companies with his spine issues, or even if it's related. We're assuming, but he had multiple problems. He had brain fog, he had visual snow, he had nerve damage, he was going through it, right? And I don't know if he had an issue with the medical profession or insurance in general, right? But the way social media has rallied behind him, listen, I do too. I'm guilty. I am absolutely guilty of rallying behind him. But I do want to add, though, we shouldn't like want to become him, right?
Yeah, we shouldn't glorify it. We shouldn't
Right.
glorify it.
Right. And because like he just violence is not the answer.
Well,
right. I know.
He did a
but
bad thing.
He did a bad thing, right? And I don't want
Taking
to.
somebody else's life is never okay. Like
It's
it
not.
just isn't.
Yeah, it's not. Right. No, I agree. But I also don't agree with like the death penalty and things like that. I'm kind of like a bleeding heart that way, you know? I just don't. I don't like it. But he did, you know, and social media. I don't know what's happening outside of social media, but like we're getting these here, the nerd store. This is just one example. I've seen these all day, yesterday and today. From our best customer, he came in to help out the store December 4th from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. here in Utah. From the crazy hustle and bustle of the big city. I've never met someone so enthusiastic about the Punisher before. It's basically people are trying to give him an alibi, right?
yeah.
People are. I just heard a pop. Did somebody come in?
No, not that I can see.
Okay. People are rallying behind him, right?
Yeah.
People are rallying behind him and kind of making, I mean, they're tongue in cheek and kind of funny, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, you know, it's just very sad. It's just very sad.
It's sad. It really is sad all around, right? It's sad that it has come to this.
Mm-hmm.
But and I probably shouldn't say it, but what do you do when talking and rational action isn't working and they're not listening?
Mm-hmm.
You know, right? Like I do not. He needs to go to jail. Period. He needs to go to jail. He needs to. He needs to be held accountable.
Mm-hmm.
But we also need to hold the healthcare industry accountable.
Well, and that's kind of what I think the point is, right?
Yep. Yes.
So I think he wants, I don't know, but I think he wants a trial. I think he wants a trial, but I think he wants it to be a trial of healthcare, right? And,
yes.
And
right.
But in order for that to happen, he has to admit guilt, and if he admits guilt, there'll be no trial. So I'm not sure like how that's really going to work, but I think ultimately that's going to be his goal. And like he wrote, hey Megan, he wrote like this quote unquote manifesto, right? But he didn't like, it's not like exactly inculpatory, right? Like he didn't like say I did this, you know, he just said it had to be done.
Right.
He didn't name the victim by name. He just said United Healthcare, right? It's not exactly an admission of guilt, although it kind of, you know what I mean? Like it's very vague.
Yeah. And the character said too, he needs to be held accountable for what he did. He knew that he was going to be held. I think he knew that he was going to be held accountable for what he did. But what he did should not be in vain, right? Like it should start the conversation for more change. Like I think that's where everybody else comes in that supports what he has done and why he's done it. Not the unaliving or like the murder part, but the drasticness of what he did to make the point is where the conversation now needs to start to hold so that what he did does not go overlooked, right? Like let's not overlook it. Let's actually talk about the healthcare stuff. Like let's hold them accountable. He's going to be held accountable for what he did. It's for everybody else now to hold the healthcare industry accountable for their stuff on the back of what he did, right? Like so I think it could like both can be true, right? He could have done a bad thing in the name of this movement, but also the movement that he's starting can be a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I you know where I'm just so confused is like this kid he's arrogant and I feel like he can back it up.
Oh, I do too.
But I do wonder, what did this arrogance convince him that he wasn't going to get caught? That's because he really was.
I don't know. I don't know, because like when you read his his little manifesto kind of thing, let's pull that up real quick. Let's get it. It's right here. The way it's worded, he knows he's going to get caught. He's like, hey,
Right.
these are my electronics. You're not going to find anything. But you're going to, my notebook's here. It's got my to-do list and some notes. But I think he either knew he was going to get caught or he just didn't care. Like,
yeah. Go ahead.
I feel this note, this manifesto was never going to be mailed.
Correct. Yeah.
Because it says, my tech is here. My tech is here. You're never going to find it.
Right.
Right.
I'm just looking at this line. The spiral notebook, if present, has some straggling notes and to-do lists that illuminate listen to me. I can't. Reading this, just the word choice, the tone, like this kid is just, I like basic CAD. Basic to who?
Right. Right.
I just, he's so smart. He's so intelligent. And I do wonder if he thinks I'm a rich, privileged white guy. I'm going to get off. Like, I just want to know what he was thinking.
I honestly think, here's the thing. Let me pull it up real quick. I think, let me show you why. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. This right here. I think this is telling. So when people are talking about this 3D printed gun, right?
Mm-hmm.
The gun itself is not, well, the gun is printed, but just the bottom part. I basically took it and I circled what's printed.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys know me, you guys know I'm a 3D print nerd. I love 3D printing. It's a lot of fun, but you can easily see the stippling. I'm pointing at my screen like you can see it, right?
Body, really quick. Peachy's backstage again, just so you know.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Peach.
That's okay. She just texted me, so I wanted to.
It's okay. I don't know what happened. Anywho.
Yeah, you got DC.
Hi, sorry.
So just the bottom pieces, which is interesting because let me show you the next slide. So here's like an example of what he printed. Okay, except for he printed his in black, right?
Right.
But this is an example. It's just the bottom half, right? And the slide goes into the, just slides right on top, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you can print a whole thing. So this is what he printed on the left and what you can print on the right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can piece together your own ghost gun. But
right.
He didn't do that. But this is like a CAD of the suppressor. Well, not the suppressor, a suppressor. He did print this or something like this. Okay, the reason that I think this is important is the gun he used is still going to be traced back to him if he's caught. Because the bullets, and we know this to be true because we just learned that the bullets left, or the shells left the bullets, I'm sorry, at the scene match that barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think had he wanted to get away with this, he would have done something like this on the right.
Right.
Yeah, I think he always knew that he was. I think the point of what he did was to get caught and to have his face shown and to be able to speak at some point, whether that's in a trial or whatever. I think that is the point of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think that he was planning on killing this guy and then all of the sudden like disappearing and everybody just being like not knowing why. You know what I mean? Like there's the why is the important part, and the why was the letter that was on him.
Mm-hmm.
So there had to have been the aspect of he knew he was going to get caught, and it was just a matter of when and how he wanted to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 3D printed guns themselves aren't very good. They're not. Kay makes a great point. They're not very good, but they do work. But they're not very good. So I'm wondering, like, he kept it with him, right? When he was caught, it was on him, and we're like, why did he keep it? Was he going to use it again? Was he going to use it on himself? Like, why did he keep it? And he did print it in parts, you guys. Yeah, he did print it in parts, and this is one of the parts he printed that I have on the screen. But he bought the slide and everything else. And he also printed the suppressor, which is on the screen. I don't know, it's just fascinating to me.
So
Fascinating.
So it's the slide is, what distinction are you making?
That the bullets, here's the thing, I don't know if a 3D printed piece of plastic would leave striation marks on a bullet. Okay? But I do know that steel will.
Okay.
And he used a steel barrel and a slide.
I mean, he's not. Go ahead.
He didn't pick up the bullets. I mean, we can see the bullets on the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, did you see that tattoo somebody got?
Oh yeah, I saw another one today.
Wow.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, this is gonna be a whole movement.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. This what you're seeing right here is just my brain dump. It's not organized at all, you guys. So give me just a second to find it. Here it is. The bullets are just like on the screen. Like he left them there.
Well, right, because they were the casings. Well, they were not engraved, but he had the words on them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's.
Oh yeah, that's right. Duh.
That's why he had to leave them there.
I'm such an idiot. I totally forgot that.
You're not an idiot.
No, I just had it on the screen. I totally forgot it.
Can you see the words there
He didn't have those. No, you can't. I looked. You can't see him. You can't see him at all.
Yeah.
But you know.
Wild.
Crazy, right? Crazy.
Just
when I read that, you guys, I lost my mind.
Yeah, you were the disconnect.
You remember? I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Monopoly money, you were like, bleep.
Yep. I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm all in at this moment.
The game is afoot.
The game is afoot, good sir. The game is afoot. Oh gosh.
Is this the spreadsheet?
It is. I just wanted to show it really quick so people know that they can go look at it if they want. Listen, it's not. I started creating this before he was apprehended because I was trying to map out where he was and his movements. This was before he was caught.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have kept going. And I'm like, fuck it, I'll just, give it away. And then I've got like some links here, like his Reddit comments, which are very interesting, you guys. Like, let me get those. Let me get it real quick here. I can't believe he has visual snow.
I know, when you told me that, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Let me make this bigger. Can you all see that okay? Yeah, you can see it.
I can see it.
Let me really quick. Let me edit this layout real quick.
While you're doing that, have you heard the things he wrote in the notebook?
I haven't heard anything today.
The only thing I heard about is that the plan was what he decided on. That it was going to be more precise, and I thought it was interesting that he said, there will. nothing, no innocence, like meaning he won't take, like there won't be collateral damage, but he used the word innocence. So it's very clear, right? Like innocent, guilty. Like how he sees Thompson. Thompson is guilty.
Wow, interesting.
And then he said something about, what better? What did he say? Whack the CEO at their annual bean counting.
Oh, okay, yeah, I did hear about that yesterday. Yeah.
The anger. I mean, he's just seething.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
I wonder what exactly happened with him.
Yeah.
Like, was he not being treated properly by his doctors, or was there a genuine problem with the insurance?
They confirmed today he was not covered under United Healthcare.
Was he covered under them at any point?
That's what's confusing to me.
Or was it just a symbol?
I heard it was Blue Cross Blue Shield that he was. I don't know. It's weird.
Yes, should be ashamed. I saw Barbecue's video. Of course, I saw it. Yeah. Of the wanted posters, and the Brian Thompson's face was X'd out. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, that's true. Both could be true. Right. But yeah, this guy had visual snow, you guys. Like Koberger.
This is a kid. It sounds like he just lived with a lot of pain for so long that for him, jail's nothing. Mm-hmm. Like he already was in he was in a prison. Like his own body was that prison.
I know, but now he's gonna have like a cot. Like it's not gonna be comfortable. I feel like he could be in danger of hurting himself.
I agree.
Yeah, but I think he had just gotten the surgery in earlier this year?
2023, I think.
So I don't think he was in as much pain as he was. I'm having a hard time following that.
I don't know. So I watched a neurologist, spine surgeon, talk about it last night on TikTok, and he had the x-rays, and he talked about his opinion, and that he probably was in a very great deal of pain. He talked about the hardware, where it was. He talked about the L5, the screws, how they didn't. I don't know. He talked about, he pretty much just said, a surgeon's typically not going to say they did something wrong. That's where a second opinion plays into part. So maybe it's possible that it was a botched surgery and he wasn't getting anywhere with relief and trying to have it fixed. I don't know. Just speculation there. It would be really interesting to kind of find out more about that part of it, because, I was under the assumption and felt like that probably had a big part in all of this.
I mean, he just sounds like such a decent person.
I know, like he's so nice to people on Reddit.
I know.
Like he's so nice to people. He's like, keep trying these different things and try this supplement, and I'm really sorry that you're having these issues. Like he's so kind.
He's an empathetic person, which kind of discounts the whole the idea of psychopathy.
Well, not necessarily, because his comments stop. Like he stops commenting. And did things get worse for him in May? And we know that he kind of went off the grid in June, because that's when his mom last talked to him, and then she reported him missing. And so his last footprint on the internet that I have been able to see is June. And so something happened, whether the pain became too much for him or he had some kind of psychiatric break. I cannot, I can't say.
Right.
But something happened where he went off the grid. He went off the grid.
The other thing too is I don't disagree with character. I personally don't think that this guy, the psychopathy thing with him, I don't actually think so. But if you do look at some of the serial killers, like from the past, the people that were like around them were like, what? Like Ted Bundy, for example, like was a great kind of like stepfather figure and was kind of, you know, he was like a nice guy and like people loved him and he was so helpful and he was so this and he was so smart and he was like, how could it be that? And because they learn what people want to see from them and like what people like and they mimic it so easily. I don't think, like, again, I'm just gonna say I don't think that that's what's going on with this guy. I think that he was truly a nice guy who just the pain over like just overtook him. I
That's
just think
what I
that
think.
Have you guys ever had
like, I don't
something?
think...
Have you guys ever had something where the pain goes on for like years?
Yeah, no, I haven't personally. I
have.
With EDS.
I know someone who has.
Oh, with your EDS, yeah.
Oh yeah, like
for me, it was my teeth.
I had spent like 10 years in the doctor's offices, over and over and over and over, trying to find all these tests, all these things, because I just would wake up feeling the worst I ever had every day, and it made me mean. Like it really truly did. Like I tried my best, but most days, like I would snap so hard at people. I would be so like, it makes you not yourself. And even through like the last 4 months, I was like snap because my head would hurt so bad for like 4 months from this sinus thing that I would just be so irritable and it wasn't anybody else's fault, but they were a little bit too loud, or would I just be like, oh my God, like it had to stop, right? Like the noise had to stop. So the only way that I could think to do it is like just to scream because it was like so bad. It really does fuck with you. Like it changes you. Like my dad was in back pain for a really, really long time. He's had like 3 back surgeries. And when he was in pain, like I watched him scream at paramedics and like mother F them and like be so fucking mean to them because he was in so much pain. But my dad is not that way. Like if he was not in pain, he would have never done that to somebody he didn't know, or like a paramedic that was trying to help him. But because he was in so much pain, it was like a monster. So I get it. Like I do. I've seen it happen. Like I can see it. I can see where he just like broke. And you said with your teeth, body, that's like one of the worst pains.
Yeah,
with teeth is like the worst.
With my teeth for like 4 or 5 years. Had I not gotten all my implants, I don't know if I would be here, to be fair. I really don't. I was on my bathroom floor crying. And with a gun. I was ready. I was ready. I was fucking
Mouth
ready.
pain is fucked. Like it's
I
so
hear
so bad.
It's so expensive.
Oh, it's crazy.
I had to take out a 401k loan for $40,000 because I needed implants and the insurance company considers it cosmetic.
Yep.
It's not cosmetic. My teeth were literally breaking because they had gone soft from a pregnancy that was just awful and terrible for me. And how is that not medically necessary for me to have teeth,
fucking is.
Right? And so like when I came across Luigi, and then experiencing the issues that I had with my mom, I immediately understood. Do you know what I mean? Like I did. I just, Crystal, I feel you. Crystal, I absolutely feel you. It's horrible. I'm so sorry you're dealing with that, beautiful. It's terrible.
I just like a couple of people were saying in the comments, they were talking about his mother's quality of life. That's not authentic. He didn't write that. The whole narrative about his mother, it was made up. He didn't write that. Some weirdo who decided that they were going to troll people just wrote it.
Can we explain that too? Because I was also confused when all of that was going about. So the one that isn't legit, can we explain that? Where that came from, which one is true, all that stuff, so people know.
Well, there's a couple different things that, and you guys, this happens when a really like kind of quote unquote popular crime happens. Somebody creates accounts, not somebody, maybe several people create accounts and pretend to be that person. And usually what they'll end up doing is selling the account after people forget about it, because it's gotten 30,000 subscribers on YouTube and can be monetized now. So there were a couple things that happened. The first thing that happened was somebody created a couple YouTube channels, right? And they created this video that was like, if you're seeing this, I'm already arrested. And then there was like a countdown clock, and it was like, stay tuned. And then there was a bunch of binary, and people were saying, oh, this is him. And I knew immediately it wasn't him. Immediately. I was like, no, this is. And I knew it wasn't him because he was so analog. He was an analog guy. He wouldn't have done that. He wants to tell his story. We know he's analog too because he hand wrote his note.
Yeah.
It wasn't a computer. It wasn't printed out. He hand wrote it. And we know it's handwritten because they can't even make out some of the words.
Yeah.
It says illegible. So there's words in the note that we can't even read. Anyway, so there was a YouTube video that was false. That wasn't him. Actually, YouTube had to come out and say his real YouTube account hasn't been active in years. And that we suspended the other account because they were for impersonation. So then, of course, there was the Substack. And the Substack was uploaded on the 9th, the day he was arrested, after he was arrested.
Right.
And it was a quote unquote manifesto, and it was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of words. And we knew that it was only 261 words, but you know immediately that one's fake, but everyone ran with it, of course.
Yep.
And I was like screaming into you saw me character. I was like getting so irritated.
It's
and the reason go ahead.
When I read that go ahead.
No, it's fine. Go.
When I read that tweet that he wrote, or that X, whatever the fuck it's called, where he said the best teachers are concise and succinct. That's how. That was another thing too. That this is just how this kid spoke. He was very. He just was very succinct, very to the point. There wasn't a lot of fluff. He didn't soften anything. So that whole thing on Substack, that goes against what he said. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
It just 100%. It wasn't him. It just wasn't, didn't fit him.
So so the reason I get kind of upset about this stuff is because whether you agree with what he did or not, and of course I don't agree with what he did, of course not, but his message is important. Regardless, okay, his message is important, whether you agree with him or not. His message is important. And just because you don't have problems doesn't mean the rest of Americans don't. And I don't think this is a left issue or a right issue. I think this is something that a lot of people can agree about.
Well, they're saying it's not a left and a right, but a top and a bottom.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And this is a privileged man, very privileged, right? Who has problems with or if he's having problems, what's happening to the little guy, right?
Right.
So his message is important, and when we dilute it with nonsense and bullshit and made up stuff, you are not only taking away from this important message. Again, whether you agree with him or not, it doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck. It's fine.
Well, I agree. And here's my thing too. I think all of us, I don't know. What he did is not right. That doesn't mean that the reason he did it.
Hold on,
wrong.
Character, I muted you real quick. There's lots of noise. I just muted you, babe. So
can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
So what I was saying was, the act itself, what he did is wrong, but that doesn't mean that his cause and the things he stands for is wrong. He could be right in a lot of the ways, and a lot of people might feel the same way. As far as healthcare and insurance and all the things.
There was an interesting thing that happened a couple days ago. Ben Shapiro who is a right-wing commentator.
Pundit. Yeah.
He's a very right-wing, like, right? We can all agree he's very right-wing. And he was talking about this. He was talking about this and saying, that, these leftists are whatever. And here, the people in his comments were disagreeing with him. They were like, listen, Ben, I'm a big fan of you, but this isn't a Republican or Democratic issue. This is an American issue. And my family struggles with health insurance. They were fighting back, and they were like saying like this, you're not going to use this to divide us. This is going to unite us, not divide us. I was very impressed with his audience, I will say.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I was very impressed.
A lot of us have different political views, you know what I mean? And I agree, that's not what it's about. I mean,
no, it's not.
For myself, like this week, and what's alarming is trying to find a new provider because yours doesn't take your insurance anymore, and then you call down the line and people are on there listed as in network and covered, but they don't take your insurance anymore.
Yep.
So you have to still go down the line and find someone. You may have to drive an hour. It's very frustrating.
I'm 50, right? And I am experiencing some changes. Okay. And my OBGYN isn't taking my insurance anymore. So I had to find a new OBGYN, and I can't get in until March.
That stinks.
And I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's just very frustrating. And that's not necessarily, yeah, I know character. It's not necessarily like an insurance problem, much more as it is a carrier issue, or not carrier, but provider issue. But it had to be an insurance problem at some point because my fucking provider dropped them. They're like, they're having problems with this insurance company. They got to drop them.
Right. That's the issue.
Why do I have to wait 3 months? Why do I have to wait 3 months?
Right.
Hey,
I loved my provider.
They
weren't paying well.
Can we talk about this picture right here and what he was saying?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because people are misinterpreting that, and his lawyer didn't help, by the way, because they were asking him, why did he say that? And, and the lawyer said, well, he said it because he's very frustrated at this situation and that he's here, and he's completely misquoting. Like, he wasn't talking about the fact that he was under arrest. Like, that's not an insult. That's not what the insult to our intelligence. He was talking about the healthcare industry.
Right. Like, he's talking about, like, you guys set up the system that is completely dumb.
Right.
You're out of touch. This is an insult to the intelligence of the American people and its lived experience. That's what I think he said. And
this is why this is another reason why a lot of people are thinking, oh, he was framed. And no, he's not saying, that's not the outrage he's expressing here. He's expressing outrage at the healthcare system.
I don't believe in holistics. I don't believe in holistics, Coco. I am a better living through chemistry gal. Give me all the drugs. I want the prescriptions and I want the surgeries. I don't want to spread herbs on my vagina. I want medical treatment. That's, you know what I mean? I just do. I'm just that way. I don't believe holistic work at all.
I go both ways. I think there's value in both. I'm very much about medication if you can afford it. It's I think it'll do wonders for you. It's a life changer. But I think there's a lot to be said for a holistic approach.
So she's saying for hormonal changes, they are good. Interesting. Okay, well, I will message you on Discord, Coco, if you don't mind.
Yeah, me too.
Let's set up a channel. Menopausal bitches.
Menopausal bitches. The Golden Girls. We'll just call them the Golden Girls. Called the Golden Girls.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I wish I'm so afraid about that stuff. Just because of my family history.
I don't have any issues. I'm just crampy, like really bad.
Yeah.
Like really crampy. I don't have
Yep.
any hot flashes. My sex drive is still really good, unfortunately. Something, you know, but I still, I just don't, I'm just crampy as fuck. Like it's really
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
It's really
I know what that
Hey,
I know
Jenna.
I know what I felt that.
I have a lot of chronic back pain.
Oh, do you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like
Me
normal.
too.
Oh, are you, Stephanie? Oh, honey, I'm sorry. I'm regular. I am like on the dot to the day. I will
Me
like
too.
to the day.
I'm the same way, body. It's like literally, I just know. I'm just
Yeah,
like, I
it's
know it's
awful.
coming that day. And if it doesn't come in the morning, it comes in the night. Like it's that day. Like it's that
Right.
day, no matter what.
Also, what is he? Let me show. Let me download this real quick. Yeah, isn't that?
That picture's rough.
Yeah, it's rough, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a reality of it. He killed a man, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He killed a man, and he's a father. He's a husband, even though he's estranged. He's still a husband.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he has kids left behind.
Right.
He killed a man. That's the reality. That's why I wanted to include this photo. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's because I can get carried away in the moment. Right?
I think a lot of us can.
Yeah. But the reality is he did kill somebody.
Yep.
But I still will say though that any potential jurors in New York should learn about jury nullification.
Where's New York? What's New York?
Where the jury will be?
No, I know. But it sounded like you said New York, like.
Oh, New York. Sorry, no, New York.
Hey,
New York.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, it's Gianna. I know. Doesn't she sound so different?
Yeah.
She sounds so good.
I still like cannot believe it. Like I don't know why. I just cannot understand. Like my brain is not computing the differentness. And my husband is literally like, who are you? Like I'm married. Get away from me. Like I don't know you.
I know. She sounds
like
so
every
good.
time I talk to him. But I can feel the air coming through my face differently. So like when I'm talking, it feels different when I'm talking. So I know that something's different.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's a very interesting feeling.
Yeah, it is.
What do you make of where's his family, do you think?
Well, they're in Maryland. What do you mean? Oh, where? I mean,
why aren't they there? Like, why haven't they come?
How do you know they're not?
That's true.
We have no idea where they are. They released a statement and they said we're not going to comment further. We're sorry for the Thompson family. We are devastated, but we are not going to comment further. And that was released through his cousin, the senator or something like that.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. What is he putting there? What is he places it right on top right there.
Dude, I'm telling you, he wanted to get caught.
What is it,
I
though?
think so too.
Because it's heavy enough not to blow away, so it's not like a wrapper, right?
Yeah. And let's remember too, he knew where the cameras were. Like,
yes,
he was hyper aware of the cameras.
He gets a water bottle. Don't you think that's light enough to get? Maybe it is a water bottle. Maybe if it still had water. Well, you don't see it in his hand though. Like,
right. I think it's more likely the wrapper to the protein bar, with the protein bar still in it. Like he took a couple bites. I don't know. Maybe a little nervous. Maybe he was a little nervous. Who knows?
Maybe he had a little tum-tum.
Yeah, I just want to know. Did they see him in that area more than once before this? Like,
oh wait, I'm sure they did, but I'm sure that they have looked at everybody coming and going and from that hostel, because we don't know what he was doing for those 4 days either. Like they haven't told us. I don't know. Let me get the other one real quick.
I just think he wanted to get caught, man. I think that was the point.
Is he on the phone with somebody, or is he pretending to be on the phone with somebody?
Yeah.
Because you don't see the phone lit up at all.
All right. Can you imagine being the guy walking behind him right now?
Oh, I know.
Jesus Christ.
I want to know everything too.
Everything. And I know
wanna
we're
know
not entitled to that
everything.
information, but oh my God. I just want to hear how he put it together. I just want to know.
I do too. And I want to know who he was talking to, if anybody at all, because it's not the screen is not lit up. Now, women, all the women in here will test this. We often, I do at least, pretend to be on the phone to avoid conversation.
Mhm.
Is he doing that because the guy next to him, like, he doesn't want to talk, he doesn't want
Could be.
To be interrupted, he doesn't want to get stopped,
Yeah, at first I thought, is he trying to do it to block his face, but his face is already pretty blocked.
I know. I don't think it's I think he might be pretending.
Maybe he was like making a voice note or something.
Oh,
maybe he was
maybe.
he was talking to himself of like what his emotions are, feel like what he's doing, like where he's going, like what.
You think
maybe
he would
on
do
his
that with a
phone
guy
is-
right next to him?
Well, character can attest that in New York City, everybody keeps to themselves. Like nobody's paying attention to each other, and
mind your business.
it would just look like he
Yeah.
was talking to somebody on the phone. And I guarantee that the guy next to him, like, doesn't know the context of the conversation to like take it out of, maybe he heard a few words and like, what is he gonna say? You know what I mean? Like he doesn't know. He's not paying attention. He's going to where he's going. Who knows what they're talking about? Not like me. I'm a nosy motherfucker, and I listen to like when people are at the store and they're like on the phone with their conversation. Like, well, if you're gonna have the conversation, I'm gonna listen. Like, well, I mean, if it's juicy, and usually it's not. But anyways, I think that he might have been talking because it just seems like something he would do to like document.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I was just
Wait a
gonna
minute. Wait a minute.
Yep, that's.
Hold on. He's coming up the stairs of the subway.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the morning of the unaliving?
It is. It's about half an hour before.
Where's the bike?
I don't know.
Oh.
The bike had to have been in that alley, but when did he have? Oh, the questions.
I know. There's so many questions.
That's a good one.
So many
Where's
questions.
the bike, man?
So many questions.
I just where was the backpack when he got in the cab?
Mm-hmm. This is after his arraignment.
What's happening, Luigi?
Listen to what somebody says to him. Oh my God, listen to this.
Luigi? Luigi, it's me, Mario.
Luigi, it's me,
Not
Mario.
Luigi, it's me, Mario.
And I'm sure, yeah, like I bet he's never heard that.
What's happening, Luigi? What's going on, Luigi? Luigi, it's me, Mario.
Oh my God.
Me, Mario.
But that goes to show you the like unserious, like not the unseriousness,
the way
but,
on
like
the public.
Yeah, like everybody, yeah, like how the public's like perception of this is like it's and like I've said before, and I said this earlier, like last time we were on, that it for whatever reason reminded me of like a fucking Family Guy skit. Like the whole thing is reminding me of like a Simpsons or like a Family Guy situation where they're like, it's I don't know, like Peter did this, and everybody's like somebody's yelling Peter, like from the, you know what I mean? Like
I do
with the Monopoly money in the bag, and like the stuff that he did, like eating the candy bar or the protein bar and like throwing the wrapper, like it just is like, I don't know. It just reminded me of like something that like Family Guy would do or something like that, like to like make light of a situation.
To the people.
That's completely out of touch and an insult to the intelligence of the American people.
There's something interesting here. His back pain, they like shove him up against that wall and he doesn't even flinch.
Yeah.
Down. That's completely out of touch and an insult to the intelligence of the American people and lived experience.
Ooh.
Bansky. Hi, JC. How are you
To the-
tonight?
I'm thinking about, all these breadcrumbs that he left, to make it easy for them to find him, because he did kind of in the real manifesto, he did kind of allude to them not being the brightest.
He did. Let's talk about that.
So maybe that's why.
He did. You're right. Let's talk about, let me get it real quick.
While you're doing that, to the people who are saying like maybe he stashed the bike, like the bike would, like, that wouldn't have lasted. Like, you can't really do that here. Like, it'll just be gone. So anything's on the street, anything's in an alley, like, people will see it, they'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm not. The questions, man. I just
Did he take the bike? Maybe he took it.
But I would think he would have. He had a plan. Like, that's a big risk to hope that a bike's going to be there. Like, what was, you know what I mean? Like, he had to have planned that. It took him 20 minutes from the scene to the cab uptown. 20 minutes. That's it. And he had to change
Maybe he paid someone
to
get the bike, to put it there.
I
He
wonder.
saw it laying somewhere and took it.
Yeah.
I think he
Like,
just saw
"Hey,
it laying
bud,
somewhere
I
and
need you
took
to
it
do me
and
a
just was like a
favor.
means.
Do you want to make
No,
some
it was
extra
a city
money?"
bike. It was a city bike.
It was,
Yeah.
well, it wasn't a city bike. The city bike came out and said it wasn't their brand.
Oh, well.
It was an e-bike of some kind.
Oh,
We
it
don't
was
know.
some
Yeah.
sort of
Interesting.
Maybe maybe it could have been as simple as he passed by it on the street. Somebody left it, like, just really quick to go in to grab something in a store.
Mm-hmm.
He passed
Mhm.
by it and he just took it. He just was like, fuck it.
Maybe.
what was his plan though? Like, what like, I don't think this was a plan that like he could have.
Maybe he didn't have one. He was like, "Oh, well, this is going to make it easier. I'll just take this." I don't know.
Mm.
All right.
Let me, why is it like this? What's happening? Whatever. My StreamYard is all screwed up. I don't know what I did, but I did something goofy. Let's fix this. All right, save. That's fine. Whatever. Yes. Okay, so we were talking about how he's kind of like talking down, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make this short because I do respect what you do for a living, but he's like, feds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make this short, right? To save you a lengthy investigation, I state plainly that I wasn't working with anyone. Like, don't even bother. Don't even bother.
Yeah.
I wasn't working with anybody. This was very trivial. This was fairly trivial. The qualitative word, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Yogi is not happy with me right now. Sorry, Yogi. I'm
Some elementary social engineering, basic CAD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. And a lot of patience, right?
Right.
He
does talk down to the authorities.
He does.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Illuminate the gist of it. The gist. I just, yeah, my tech is pretty locked. Go ahead.
And then don't even bother trying to get in my electronics because I'm pretty locked down. I work in engineering. Like, there aren't experts at the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's very dismissive of their capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It is.
And then he's lecturing. Right? He's lecturing them. Just a reminder, the U.S. has the #1 most expensive healthcare system in the world, yet we rank roughly 42 in life expectancy. Like, he's lecturing.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the mission statement, right? That's the mission. Like, this is what this is about. This is why I did it. But has our life expectancy? No, the reality is these indecipherable have simply gotten too powerful, and they continue to abuse our country for immense profit because the American public has allowed them to get away with it.
Mm-hmm. And then he's like, obviously this problem is more complex, but I don't have the space. And frankly, I don't pretend to be the most qualified person to lay out all the floor. I mean, he's just very like, listen, I don't even have the fucking space to deal with this right now.
Is that what he's saying? Or is he saying that whatever he's writing on, he doesn't have the space?
No, because he has a spiral He has a spiral notebook. What do you mean? He can. It was 2 pages. He has got plenty of space.
Well. Oh, but I do not have the space. Maybe he's saying, like, there's so much to this. Like, I couldn't even put it in this book.
Right.
It wouldn't even fit here.
Maybe.
Exactly. That's what I think. Yeah. Like, I don't have like the time or space to get into it all. And frankly, I'm not even the best one to do it. Right.
Yeah.
But I'm the only one who has dealt with this. You know, like, he's very dismissive of the capabilities of understanding and the capabilities of law enforcement.
But it's interesting that he describes himself as somebody who isn't qualified to talk about it, but sees himself as somebody who should be the leader of the movement of it. Does that make sense?
I know.
Like interesting.
It does make sense. It is interesting. I agree.
So that's where I think that it's more of a, I could go on and on, but there's not enough space.
Right.
So maybe that is what he meant.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think acknowledging that, you know, I do not pretend to be the most qualified person. There's just something about that statement. Like I said, it's such a self-aware statement, right? Like, he's saying there are people who are far smarter than I am. So for someone so arrogant, he still kind of knows I'm not the smartest person in the room, like in the proverbial room here. There are people much smarter than me.
Hmm.
I
mean, I think he wrote most of this on the bus.
Yeah. Yep. Can you, for people who are like questioning, like if he wrote it or not, can you pull up that review?
Oh yeah. Let me find it. I don't know that I have it. I have it in here somewhere.
Well, no. Okay. So no, we I don't know. I would say maybe it's not about the space to write. It's about.
I think it's like the mental capacity. I don't have the strength or space right now. There's a lot going on. I don't have the space in my head to like deal with this right now. That's how I took it.
He says something similar here.
Clearly written by a mathematician, right?
Yeah. Reads like is there a way to enlarge it or no?
There isn't. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Hold on. Oh, zoom. Reads like a series of lemmas on the question of 21st century quality of life. It's easy to quickly and thoughtlessly write this off as the manifesto of a lunatic in order to avoid facing some of the uncomfortable problems it identifies. But it's simply impossible to ignore how prescient many of the predictions about modern society turned out. He was a violent individual, rightfully imprisoned, who maimed innocent people. While these actions tend to be characterized as those of a crazy Luddite, however, they are more accurately seen as those of an extreme political revolutionary. A take I found online that I think is interesting, and the colon here, like he likes colons, and he doesn't necessarily use them correctly, but he likes colons. Had the balls to recognize that peaceful protest has gotten us absolutely nowhere, and at the end of the day, he's probably right. Oil barons haven't listened to any environmentalists, but they feared him. I don't know who they're talking about there. Let me see. Now to get to the second one. When all other forms of communication fail, violence is necessary to survive. You may not like his methods, but to see things from his perspective, it's not terrorism. It's a war and revolution. Fossil fuel companies actively suppress anything that stands in their way, and within a generation or two, it will begin costing human lives by greater and greater magnitudes until the Earth is just a flaming ball orbiting third from the sun. Peaceful protest is outright ignored. Economic protest isn't possible in the current system. So how long until we recognize that violence against those who lead us to such destruction is justified as self-defense? These companies don't care about you or your kids or your grandkids. They have zero qualms about burning down the planet for a buck. So why should we have any qualms about burning them down to survive? We're animals just like everything else on this planet, except we've forgotten the law of the jungle and bend over for our overlords when any other animal would recognize the threat and fight to the death for their survival. Violence never solved anything is a statement uttered by cowards and predators. I mean, anybody who questions if he did it or not, it's right here.
It's right there. And
Yeah, he did it.
He's very passionate about this.
Very much so.
Very passionate.
I wonder if
wrong.
He's not
wrong.
I've said this so many times, like even to like my parents and to my husband, and I'm like,
he's not.
Literally, everybody complains about something, but then they just keep doing it. Like taxes. Let's put it into taxes, okay? If all of us, everybody collectively, was just like, I'm not fucking paying you taxes, what would they do? You know what I'm saying? There's so, like we let these few people control so many of us and the things that we do or whatever. But if all of us just were like, no, and everybody stuck to it, there would be nothing that they could do about it, right?
When
it would
did he
have
write
to
that?
change.
When was that written?
the review.
Yeah, when did he write that?
Oh God, it says it, but I can't read it. Body, can you read it?
Sorry, I was muted. I didn't even realize it. February 2nd.
Okay.
Of this year, right?
Yeah, of this year.
You know, it was the roommate, or it was the co-owner of the space where he lived. Said that he would not Luigi, but that he was the one to recommend or suggest that they read Ted Kaczynski's book for their book club,
Manifesto.
Manifesto. And I wonder if that was the catalyst.
Oh, I absolutely think so. Listen, let me tell you something. I was obsessed with the Unabomber, you guys. Not him, but his writing and what he was doing. What he was doing about it. I thought it was fascinating, absolutely fascinating. The Unabomber, and I was also fascinated with how he was caught because of the linguistics involved, right? Because you know what, you guys know I'm totally into the linguistics of it all. That's how I figured a lot of things out about Luca was the way he wrote things. I'm fascinated by it. So, okay, Yogi, hold on one second, guys. Yogi, please stop it. So, when I read that Luigi was interested in the Unabomber, I was like, oh my God. And I started looking at how he wrote because that's exactly how the Unabomber was caught. The note that he wrote is very much matches his tone, his voice, his writing voice. And it's the parallels are fascinating. And listen, the Unabomber almost radicalized me, if I'm being real. Like, I mean, for real. Like scarily. Yeah. And so like I know Coco, because like Yogi's barking at me because he doesn't like it when I'm on the computer and not laying down and holding him like a baby. So he's barking at me and it gets me flustered. It gets me really flustered. So yeah, excuse me. So anyway, I absolutely think that this changed his psyche, like the way his mind was altered. And we know he was microdosing, right? And so like, did it alter his brain chemistry? Did it?
I don't know, maybe. But just so that people can see, like, there are similarities between his writing here and the writing of we'll call it the manifesto.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what else. It's a note, but yeah, they're calling it a manifesto.
And even in one of his tweets, you know how he said, I don't have the space. He said something very similar in one of his tweets about not having the bandwidth.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I think that might be what he was meaning, the bandwidth. I don't have the fucking patience for this, basically, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
But he, you know, in both writing, he really likes adverbs, he likes qualifiers. He starts a lot of sentences with obviously or evidently or based, you know what I mean?
Simply,
Simply, yeah, it's a really condescending tone. He takes this position of authority, right? It's just, again, so fascinating. This kid, the look on that face, that picture is going to go down.
When this happened, I'm sure I'm not the only one, but when this happened and this picture was released from that, I was like, this is a moment in time.
Yep.
This is like a Lee Harvey Oswald, Jack Ruby moment.
Yep.
One of those kinds of moment, right? Ted Kennedy, getting shot. The moments that are captured. This is one of those moments, I think. I really do.
Yeah, he's grim. I think he's grimacing at the guy who's got his hand around his neck, like digging in. He's digging into the back of his neck.
Yeah.
So, Leopard, is that true though? I haven't heard that. Is that true though? Because how would the CEO know what serial number he bought? They don't. They send lots, right? They send lots of when you're a supplier and you order backpacks, you just get the backpacks, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what serial numbers you got. Like that's to me that doesn't make no damn sense. And that's not how he was caught anyway.
I actually looked that up. That's not what happened. That's the TikTok I was talking about. Remember, I just mentioned it to you, like right before we started, or right as it started, where the woman was like, "Well, whatever PD, whatever it was, the brand for the backpack, they ratted him out." No, they did not. What they did was call the tip line and let them know that the backpack he was using was their brand, not because they gave a shit, but because they wanted their name out, just like Tommy Hilfiger's name was out, just like the Levi's jacket. But at least the Levi's company had the good sense to say no comment. We want nothing to do with this. But they put the jacket, on sale, like they want to get rid of it. Whereas the backpack company just said, yeah, that's ours. They didn't. That's not how SKUs work. Like SKUs,
right?
Think about the knife with Idaho, right? When they put in the warrant, they gave like 2 or 3 SKU numbers, and they're like, tell us how many of these SKU numbers were sold, which means there's multiple. There's no individual SKU number for each item,
right?
So you couldn't trace it back to a specific sale.
Was it a Peak?
Yes.
Okay.
Peak
so
Design.
Right. Okay, cool.
Peak Design. Yep.
All right. Yeah. So, yeah, it was a Peak, but it didn't. I don't think it provided any info, right?
Yeah, they just wanted their name out there.
Indy, did you eat dinner? Did you make dinner? She's not going to answer me now. Okay, yeah. Interesting.
Do you think he's going to waive his right to a speedy trial?
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
You made tamales?
Can we look at the X-ray?
New York has the speedy trial situation.
Yeah.
You want the X-ray? I got it here somewhere. Let me grab it. Yogi is so
Just kind of
mad at
wanted
me.
to just kind of talk about what I heard that neurosurgeon talk about last night.
Okay.
And you can really see like what he was talking about.
I mean, that is a moment in time. I don't care what anybody fucking says.
Yeah,
it
is.
Oh, you steamed him. Okay, gotcha. Let me just grab it. That's a picture.
How about
too.
that picture?
That picture is no Yogi.
I mean, whoever got that picture too, like the light is kind of shining down on him.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
It's a chilling picture, it really is. Like it's
the defiance. The defiance.
Look at the flared nostrils, man.
The defiance, right?
Stand up. Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Listen,
Defiance again.
but hotness,
Mhm.
so much hotness. I can't, oh my God.
And the jacket is the same,
Mhm.
right? There's the
So
jacket.
the jacket, is it like a double-sided, like black on the outside, green on the inside?
No, it looks like he has a jacket underneath.
Okay.
I think he just layered everything. That's how he was able to get around without carrying bags.
Yeah, maybe.
But he said he had his electronics. Where did he carry his? How did he get the computer?
What do you mean? How did he get the computer? What do you mean?
He didn't have it with him when he got in the cab.
Oh, well, it might be in the backpack.
But he didn't have the backpack with him when he got in the cab.
Listen, yeah, but we don't know that. We don't see his other arms. And like I said, when you get in a cab, when you're wearing a backpack and you get in a car, you take the backpack off and throw it in, and then you get in the car, right? You don't get in the car wearing the backpack.
But when the can you have those? Do you have those photos there? Okay. What about there was another one though?
Yeah, I'm getting it. I'm looking for it. There's the spine. That's slide 42. We'll come back to it. Look at I'm so dumb. I blurred out the fake information, but left like the murder in. I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid.
No, you're not.
Look at that. Tweet.
Wow.
But I think he was testing code. I think he was testing like an API push. Let's see. I thought I had it. Character, I guess I don't. The other photo. You don't see it either, though. You don't. You see his hands, but like I said, I think he threw it in the car.
Well, you don't even see a strap though. The one that's the side by side.
You're not going to.
Car. But he's walking.
He's beside the car. The door isn't even that one.
There it is.
The door isn't even open yet.
Mm-hmm.
So where's the backpack?
I don't know.
He had a computer. What? I have so many questions.
Maybe he stashed it. Maybe it's at the bus station in a locker.
He had to have done that.
He had to have, right?
Maybe.
Wow.
Yes, he did have two backpacks for sure. And we know that because of this photo. Let me get it. This one right here.
Yeah, it's dark.
That's a gray. Mm-hmm. Oh, did you, Indy? Okay, I'll go grab it. Thank you, Indy.
See, he's going to look a lot different when the camera's pointing down. He's going to look a lot different than when the camera's pointing up.
Yeah, he's going to look different. Yeah.
He's going to look way different.
And it's a CCTV, listen, pixels matter, right?
Yeah.
Rainy photos and, it matters.
Bro, why did you have to flirt with the front desk person?
He would have been found anyway. It doesn't matter. These did not help find him, I don't think. All right, let me present.
I don't think he cared.
I don't either.
I really don't.
Because he knew he was going to get caught. We know that because of the manifesto he left. You're going to find the spiral notebook. You're going to try to go through my electronics. Don't even bother. Like he knew. He's telling them. He's telling them, I know you're going to go through this.
But there's not going to be much there.
Right. He knew he was going to get caught. Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me
You're not going to find much. Yeah.
Window. Where's my there it is. Share.
Okay, so if you go to the very top, like his T-spine, at the top, and you see the space between the vertebrae, see the spaces between the vertebrae, then you go down where his lower back is, that's the L5 down there. You see how it's compressed? Look at the screws and look at the very bottom one and how it's gone all the way through the bone. Like it's almost like it's like that's where his bladder and things would be. The doctor was, you see that?
Yeah. I'm staring at his butt. I'm not going to lie.
He was talking about the placement, that some of the screws looked like they were maybe not the right size, That one at the very bottom was longer. It looked like it was going through further than it should have, which would be pressing on nerves and things like that. So then my thoughts are, you go back to, well, why would he do this and then try to get caught? Well, if he was in, this is just a thought that came through my mind. If he was in a lot of pain and he felt like, this is my life, it's not going to get any better. I'm not getting anywhere with my insurance. It's not getting fixed, Maybe there's a small chance that it'll be better if I'm in prison if I get caught. And if not, I'm already in pain and they're not doing anything about it anyway.
But he comes from money. Like, they had enough money where he could get corrective surgery.
And why wouldn't he go after the surgeon?
Right.
It is an interesting question. Like, why would he go after the surgeon?
It is an interesting question. Maybe that,
I don't know.
Well, I mean, there's maybe a second opinion was out of network. I know the money's been the talk about them being well off and things like that, but maybe he was independent, didn't want his mama and daddy's money and didn't want their help. Maybe he wanted to do it all on his own.
Well,
and
his
this
family
put him in a horrible position.
Let's talk about that. His family reported he hadn't talked to his family since June, and they reported him missing out of San Francisco in November 8th, I think, or Niho, do you remember? No, November 18th, I think. Maybe he was denied an initial surgery and had to get that one, and it was worse. Maybe. Oh, Indy, maybe. Okay, yeah, maybe they denied it.
But now, Indy, that's a good point, because the surgeon last night did say that even sometimes with a second surgery to go in and fix something like that, oftentimes they can be in worse pain after because of all the damage before anyway. Like it's just not a win-win.
Newly brings up a good point too. He seems like he had a strong social justice. Yes. And we know that because of the Unabomber. You guys, please learn about the Unabomber.
That is a good point.
Please.
That is a good point.
Yeah. I don't want anybody to idolize the Unabomber. He killed a lot of innocent people. Like a lot of innocent people. He killed 3 innocent people and he maimed over 20. He really did. But his ideas in the manifesto are very interesting. And like I said, they almost radicalized me. They almost there's a fine line, right? And the things in that manifesto are very interesting, and they're also very similar to what Luigi's saying. Now, character,
I kind of agree with Newly here. I mean, the strong social justice, his own personal feelings. I don't know that he really factored in, the family and the money, and he just seems like a lone wolf, and those things didn't matter to him. What mattered was what mattered, not just him and anybody else that might not be in his position.
Oh, J Fox, I'm sorry.
Financially. Yeah, baby.
What were you saying, Buddy?
Character, can you please tell us the correct pronunciation of his name? Because I like to say Luigi Mangione. And I want everybody to know that I don't say that derogatory. I love
No, not at all. Not at all. It really
Luigi
depends
Mangione.
It could be Mangione, it could be Mangione, it can be Mangione. It all depends on how his family pronounces it.
Okay.
I believe it's Mangione.
Okay. But that Italian that you sent me says Mangione or something, right?
Yes. She says it. Yeah, she says.
No, the one that you sent me.
Yeah.
I was like, I like the way I say it better.
Yes.
Luigi
Mangione.
Yeah, I like to say Luigi Mangione.
Mangione. I don't even
I
want
think
to try to say it with
I
my
think it
southern
sounds so
accent.
good. Luigi Mangione. I mean,
It's
the rolls
close.
off my
Luigi
tongue. It's just
Mangione is how I say
Luigi
it.
Close.
Mangione.
Yeah.
If he has autism or neurodivergent, he may have extreme sense of social justice. I have that, and it's a lot. Marianne, welcome to my world, darling. Yes. One of the so after Luca, obviously I went and got help because I knew something was wrong with me. And one of the reasons I got my diagnosis was because of that sense of justice. One of the many reasons. It was just another piece of the pie. But yeah, neurodivergency does have a extreme sense of social justice. Now, from all accounts, he was very social and didn't really have any problems socially. I don't see any signs of autism, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Like he's 26, his brain is finally developed. He might have just kind of maybe started having symptoms. I don't know, but it is possible. But it is Marianne, and that's why I went to.
Now I don't know where I heard this, but doesn't he have a very high IQ too?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, I read that too.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's a highly, highly, fiercely intelligent guy.
Right.
Oh yeah, no question.
Oh my God.
So I am going to wrap this up because I don't want to be on too long. I gotta eat, and Yogi's very angry with me. But I do, and Indy and I are gonna watch something about the Unabomber. I think. So I'm gonna have these lives more, and we're gonna work on the spreadsheet together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be a cool exercise for the audience to learn about Google Docs and stuff like that. And because I've been saying, I was going to do this for a while. And Luigi Mangione is going to be definitely part of the rotation. I am obsessed with this right now.
Yeah, same.
So there's two shows that I liked, Scorpio. One is called Manhunt, the Unabomber, and it was on Netflix, but they pulled it.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't know when they pulled it. But it is available on Amazon and I think Hulu, maybe. It's called
Manhunt.
Manhunt Unabomber. It is excellent. It is it's a drama. So there's actors and stuff like that, but the story is so well told.
I might turn that on.
And the reason I like that one is because they really focus on how the Unabomber was caught. And they focus on the words of his manifesto, because that's how it was caught, you guys, was the manifesto. So it's really, really good, but it's like 7 episodes. So it's a lot to get through, but it's worth it. Another one is the Unabomber in his own words. And that is more of interviews in jail. And at this point, Ted Kaczynski has really gone off the rails.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not as good as a show like Manhunt, but it's still very good. It's still very good, but it's called Unabomber in his own words. I mean, there's going to be tons on YouTube you can watch too. But watch it with at least the knowledge of, Ted Kaczynski was completely off his rocker, 100%.
Yep.
He was one of those people that was so smart that he went crazy, right? He was he was too smart for his brain, and he like expanded outside of it. And he was like in part of like an experiment in college. And this is like the 60s, like MK Ultra and all that stuff. Like they really fucked him up. And he went at a very early age because he was so smart. He was a genius. So he went to college when he was like, I think 16 or something.
Wow.
But absolutely fascinating. And Ted Kaczynski was very against technology and how we as like the human species have become too dependent on technology, and we need to get back to what we're supposed to be, which is like animals, right?
Oh my God, wait a minute. Listen, think about what you're saying here. Like, wait, this kid was going to use a bomb. This
I
kid
know.
was just,
I know.
was going to, oh my God, it's like, what's his face? It's like Koberger and Bundy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did this kid obviously became radicalized by
100%.
Kaczynski's manifesto?
I think so too.
I think he was 100% radicalized by ideas like Kaczynski. I don't necessarily think it was Kaczynski, but I think it pushed him over the edge.
I think it did too.
Yep. Sure did.
That probably intertwined with his own passions and his own, circumstances, just fueled it to where we are today.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, and when he went off the grid is when he probably started really planning everything.
Do you remember that guy many years ago? Really good-looking guy, like bright blue eyes, like model good-looking, and he was a former convict, and then he became a model. Didn't he?
Oh yeah, I do.
Did he kill somebody?
I don't know. I didn't actually look into him at all.
Isn't he an actor?
Men disgust me. I don't watch them.
I know. Men are stupid. And
Isn't he an actor?
No, I don't think so. I thought he was a model.
I know who you're talking about.
Oh, Indy knows who it is. She said he's from Stockton. Jeremy something.
Yeah. Did you know if did he kill somebody?
Yes, mi corazón. The co-op guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Armed robbery.
Huh.
Why? What's your point?
Well, because he got out of jail and they made him a goddamn model, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure he killed somebody. And I'm just, looking at my boyfriend's face, thinking he could be a model. Like,
do you want me to?
What? Want me to put that back up?
somebody removed the background of the mugshot, this photo here, and put him on the cover of Vogue, and I swear to God, it looks real. It looks real. I was like, oh my God.
I know. He just
pretty.
He just had so much going for him. And I think he knew he had so much going for him. And this is what I like. I do feel like he was trying to start a revolution like this. And he might be successful here.
He might.
Like, I think he knew.
I don't have a lot of faith.
But I've never seen anything like this. The amount of people, the videos, the praise, he's a hero. It's insane. Like today I was seeing the videos and they were using the audio of, the Steve show, the one that came off of Jerry Springer, and he's like, that's your man. Yeah. That's my man, and I'm gonna stand by him. Like I was seeing those.
Oh my God!
Don't you guys think though, like American, like our collective like memory is, we can't pay attention to shit for more than 5 seconds.
Well, that's because of social media.
Well, yeah, but I don't have a lot of faith in the American people. I just don't.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like next week, what's going to be the next thing?
Right, exactly.
Well, like, we're still talking about Idaho.
Something else will happen.
Oh, yeah, we're still talking about it. Yeah, that's true.
But
we're not your average American. We're into true crime, and
I see what you're saying. I think we're going to keep talking about this. I do. Did you hear about the woman who threatened the CEO of Blue Cross Blue Shield?
No.
Yeah, she threatened. She said something. I don't know if she said it in a phone call or a letter, but she said, something about like, you're next.
Oh shit.
And they're like, bye, go to jail. Bye.
Did she go to jail?
I believe so. Yeah. Bye.
She threatened somebody. Oh my God.
Yeah. Bye. So yeah, like this is we're heading into Act 2. We're heading into Act 2 of this.
Was that the video that was posted that was like, by the way, this is the CEO of such and such, and like had his whole picture and everything up?
I
saw
know.
one today and was like, for anybody who might want to know, this is the CEO for this. I can't remember what company. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow. Like, that's where it's.
Yeah.
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 Anywho.
What is she talking
Defend the
about?
working class, deny the permanence of capital, dispose the ruling class.
Oh, okay.
Tattoos.
Yeah, people are getting tattoos. Yeah. And you cannot say that phrase anymore on some social media sites. They will delete it. You cannot also post the manifesto on Reddit. They will delete it. Yeah. I might get a strike on YouTube. I don't know.
That's scary. Like they don't want people talking about this.
They don't. Absolutely do not. It's crazy.
They don't.
All right. I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I got shit to do. So,
all right. Well,
I appreciate you guys joining me.
Good
like
talk.
It was a good talk, and
us.
I'm gonna do a bunch more because I'm not done talking about this. But I'm really unorganized right now. You know, like you guys can see my slideshow is like a joke. But again, that was just my brain dump, like dumping everything out.
It's all good. You did good. You did good.
But you know, if anybody does want to get me a present, this Christmas sweater is definitely for me.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Bye, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. I appreciate it. Yogi is already, he can tell I'm winding down. Can you guys hear him? Oh my God, he's going crazy.
Baby. Mommy's coming.
Yeah, he's like, okay, she's coming. She's coming. Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a good
Bye,
night.
you guys.
I appreciate it. Have a good night.
You too.